In this video, we're going to look at the first of two alternative techniques to more efficiently pass knots on descent. With practice, these techniques can significantly improve our efficiency when working on rope. The technique we're going to look at today doesn't require any additional equipment beyond our standard mobility kit. It is, however, simplified if we have an adjustable length tether, such as the Petzl Progress Adjust. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to keep my tether at a fixed length and demonstrate how we can apply this technique without an adjustable tether. Before starting, I also want to point out that the knots in our mobility lines are offset by a significant distance. For this technique and the subsequent one, it's important that our knots be offset by around 30 centimetres, regardless of which line is under tension. If we were using a low stretch rope such as HTP, we'd be able to have our knots closer together, but as we're using nylon today, I've increased the distance between the knots to ensure that we don't end up in a situation where our two knots are at the same height. I'm going to climb the rope, transition to descent, and when I'm ready to descend, we'll walk through this technique. We're now ready to descend our lines, and before starting, I want to point out that the first knot we're going to come to is on our ASAP line. In order to get the largest time saving from this technique, it's important that the first knot we reach is on our ASAP line. So to begin, I'm going to start descending the rope. I'm going to descend until I'm about level with the first knot. At this point, I'll attach my tether to the loop in the knot. Now, if you're not lucky enough to have a handy loop at the knot in your rope, for example, if you've joined two ropes using a double fisherman's bend, you could simply tie an alpine butterfly immediately above or below the knot. So we've attached our tether into the loop, and with an adjustable tether, now I'd shorten the length of the tether as much as possible to minimise the distance between the knot and my harness. Without an adjustable tether, I'm going to attach the tether through my chest ascender. Once again, shortening the length as much as possible to bring my chest ascender as close as I can to the knot. Now I'm going to continue descending on my descender until my tether takes up my body weight. At this point, looking at our attachments, on one line I'm attached to the descender, on the other line I'm attached to my tether, which means it's now safe for me to remove my ASAP. I'm going to move my ASAP onto the other line, placing it above my descender. Now I'm going to release my descender again, removing any tension that remains in it so that I can remove it from the rope. My descender I'm also going to move to the other line, this time placing it directly below the knot where my tether's attached. Pull some slack through my descender to minimise any height loss, lock it off. Now once again, looking at our attachments, on one line I'm attached with this ASAP, on the other line I'm attached with my descender, so it's now safe for me to remove my tether. The easiest way for us to do this is to attach our hand ascender above the knot. Stand up in our foot loops. As we're standing up, remove our tether and sit back down into our descender. As you can see, we've now passed the first knot and can continue down until we reach the second knot. Again, we'll reach this on our ASAP line. And now we're going to repeat the process for our second knot. Again, starting by attaching our tether to the loop, lowering ourselves to transition our weight to the tether, doing a quick connection check. Make sure we're attached on both ropes and it's safe to remove our ASAP, which will move to the other rope. Removing any remaining tension from our descender and moving it also to the other rope. Finally attaching our hand descender above the knot, standing in that to remove our tether. We've now completed the knot pass and can continue to the ground.